Okay, so we have Provi-Shotz in red and we have Phalanx in blue. Both of these guys, a win here could put them in a very high position. Phalanx are currently third, I believe, and Provi-Shotz are currently fourth. But there's only 1 point between them. So whoever wins this has a pretty. If Provi-Shotz win this and they get a decent amount of match points, they can actually win the whole thing. If they get 15 points, they have 57 match points scored, which will put them ahead of Charlatans and Clever Girls. And if Phalanx win, since they have 7 points, they'll get 10. They'll definitely win the whole thing. So whoever wins this match is going to win everything.
This is a really, really, really close finish to the league. It's absolutely fantastic. We see Provi-Shotz opening the Oracle. Again, guaranteeing that Phalanx can't get in their battle cruiser top. And Phalanx big banning out the Zekra, we might see possibly a double armor Logi ban here.
Yeah, these look like standard red side, blue side bans, I guess. They might be banning a second Logi here, or they might just ban a strong shield battleship and then go Ogre themselves. The Ogre is the most successful Logi, I believe.
Yeah, it still is. Provi-Shotz here just debating whether or not to ban it or leave it open for Phalanx. They are leaving it open. They're banning out Tempest, which seems like a curious pick. I think Phalanx have done pretty well with Tempest, but I don't necessarily think that's the best ban. They've obviously got a play in mind.
Maybe they were watching the Test versus Phalanx match where I think also Meme Team versus Phalanx where we saw a Test or Meme Team ban out Oracle and APOC to begin with, and then Phalanx they banned Extra first, but then they just swapped into Shield and sort of like trolled Meme Team into picking like armor support. But they are banning the APOC here, so they could be going Shield themselves. Looks like Phalanx really either the Shield side on Shield team on the blue side, which is kind of strange because traditionally red is armor, blue is Shield. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's definitely mixed up a little bit. Yeah, I don't even say the definitely the meta is changing though this week. With blue actually choosing to pick shield on a couple of occasions so far, and a no Logi shut up, which is
slasher.
Yeah, Provi-Shotz is really
Sorry,
weird. So...
yeah, but they picked a slasher. Is that the first time we've seen a slasher? And I think
No.
it's the only frigate that has an afterburner.
It is indeed. It is the only frigate with an afterburner, and the only team who have picked them before was the Provi-Shotz Z before. So they're picking the slasher. Something that the other teams haven't picked, but they have picked before. So
yeah, I think
maybe
if I recall correctly, they actually won with it. They're going back to what they know, I guess.
Oh, and a Thrasher. This is so strange. Phalanx picking up the Merlin and the Tower. Looks like Phalanx are going kind of standard, whereas Provi-Shotz are going Provi-Shotz. We'll see if it works for them.
Did they win last time? Because I think they had the Slasher and the Thrasher too. And didn't they win with that setup? Maybe they're kind of going back to the first weekend when everyone was just kind of testing the waters. And they just want to go back to what they know is best.
Yeah, it's possibly a low Logi shot from them, or possibly they're waiting for the Osprey. Phalanx picking up the side there. They've done really well with that before, and they've been a fan of it, so they've gone for that. So. Yeah, the Provi-Shotz going Osprey. I can see two shield setups facing off here. Unusual. I'm trying to remember the situation we've had there.
All right, so we're talking to our stats person, Elinari, and she actually said that they won with it and that they're picking the same sub they had on the first week. So probably kind of, spend all this time going through a meta and that kind of settles, and it seems this weekend for the finals, everything's kind of getting thrown off. Alright, she's saying Naga and Rogue will be identical picks, and Phalanx banned the Raven, so Provi still has that open to them.
They actually banned the Naga. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to pick for. There's not that many decent shield battleships left on the field, right? There's just traditionally it's Rogue, Raven, and Tempest, and only the Rogue is available, and the red team probably will get the first pick there. I think Phalanx are probably going to go Hurricane here. Although Drake is still available, they have used the Drake in the past, and they're going for the Drake again. I guess that's gonna. I think Provi-Shotz are probably picking up the Hurricane here. The Ferox. I think this is the first time we've seen the Ferox.
It is the first time I've seen it. I'm super happy. The Phalanx is a great brawler, and then matching it with the Rogue as well. That's absolutely fantastic. Two face brawling blaster teams, both with the XL ASB, so they can rely pretty heavily after that Osprey dies, which might be their plan. I'm thinking this is probably throwing Phalanx a curveball here. They're probably considering Geddon now, maybe.
Yeah, Maelstrom is still available. I think was it Phalanx that went for the Hyperion with no, that was burnt out with the Hyperion plus Scythe.
Yeah, Hyperion would be actually pretty strong here as well. But then against it with Verox in a row, you don't want to get Hyperion anywhere near that combination. Although it does have a hardener that can react to incoming damage types. So up against a Ferox and a Rogue, it might be okay. Oh, they've gone for Maelstrom. So we've seen two ships here that have not been picked in the tournament so far. Phalanx picking the Maelstrom, which I haven't seen, and Provi-Shotz going for the Ferox.
All Kaldari and all Minmatar. There's no really armor ships, or I guess traditional armor ships of Amar and Galente. This is super exciting.
Yeah, that is absolutely wild. We haven't really seen anything like this happen before. I can't wait to see. This is definitely going to be the decider for who gets promoted, who gets the first place trophy, as it were. Really, really crazy stuff. I did need to speak a little bit earlier, and let me pull up the league standings again. The Clever Girls do own the tiebreaker. For some reason, that the Charlatans did. But nope, Clever Girls do hold the tiebreaker, so they are currently sitting at number 1 with 9 points. Charlatans also sitting at number 2, tied with 9 points as well. They have a point differential that's less than that of the Clever Girls. Phalanx and Provi-Shotz follow them up with 7 and 6 points respectively. Here's how each team can win, right? So Phalanx, if they get a win, either a dominant win or just a normal win, they will have 10 points. They will finish number 1. Clever Girls will finish number 2. And those two teams will be promoted to the major leagues, regardless of how the format changes. They will always be promoted. If Phalanx wins in a dominant victory, have 11 points, same thing. Provi-Shotz, if they win, they will need to win by 10 points more than... Actually, no, they will only need to win by 2 points more than they lost. So if they lost 5 points, only to score 7 points in order to be in the top 2. But if they score an 11... Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry for that little hiccup. Apparently even OBS and Twitch hates going through the math, but it is important. Damn you, I will make sure you know it's important. Basically, if Phalanx win, they get first place. If Provi-Shotz win, they have to win by 2 points more than they lost by, or two points more than they've lost in terms of points. And to get in the top 2, to finish first, they'll either need a dominant victory or they'll need to win by 10 more points than they lost. So basically, their destiny is in their own hands of Provi-Shotz with their cute little slasher thresher combo, and with the almond with our team. I can't wait to see how it goes down. Base, Tony Rain, I mean, what is going on with this Minmatar setup? Can Provi-Shotz do it?
You know, they won with it before, but that was on the first weekend when everything was up in the air. So it'll be interesting to see if this setup, which doesn't look as strong as it does on paper, I think. The major teams have never run a setup with a slasher or a thrasher in. So it's kind of weird, you know, maybe Provi-Shotz know something that every other team doesn't, or, you know, maybe it's going to throw a curveball. Maybe they're picking ships that the Phalanx team have never tested against, and maybe that's enough of a curveball to help them win. Or maybe it's just like weird and they just randomly pick those ships because they like them, the looks of them. I don't know, but it could be interesting, I guess.
I mean, that is definitely something I would do. Just pick a ship because it's weird. I mean, the slashers are actually pretty cool ships. They're underrated. It's not that they're great, but they're not as bad as they seem to be. And as Rain pointed out, this is the only frigate with an afterburner, so it can get under some tracking. You can do some damage. You know, it's a pretty durable ship in its own right. Real tiny, hard to hit at. Babe, what do you make of this madness?
Okay, so two setups we haven't seen before. Although we've seen kind of similar things, I guess. Wow, I'm really looking to see how Maelstrom performs. It's actually got about double the shield boost tank of the Tempest. It's got that shield boost bonus, so it tanks really hard. Plus the Scythe, it's going to be really hard, tough nut to break. But it's very, very slow, and it doesn't project DPS as well as the other Minmatar battleships. So But against a rogue, that's not such a bad thing, because rogue is also pretty slow. So actually it might work out as a pretty good pick here.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the biggest difference between the Tempest and the Maelstrom is the Tempest gets the utility highs that the Maelstrom doesn't get.
Yeah.
Although the Maelstrom's a lot better in like a 1v1 brawl.
Yeah, definitely. Which it might come down to here. I think they might go. I don't think battleships will be primary here. I think maybe possibly battle cruisers will be, and Drake has got a lot more buffer, whereas the Phalanx has got an XL ASB. It'll be interesting to see who dies first anyway for both sides. I think target selection. I think the teams will really need to know the vulnerabilities of each setup, because the setups are fairly similar in terms of like DPS. They're fairly similar in terms of utility, but I think like knowing each other's weaknesses is going to be really important here, and I think the first target that each team calls is going to be super crucial.
Yeah, that is something we have seen in these matches. Even in the matches between, most notably, Clever Girls and Burnt Out. Although Burnt Out ended up losing, they won the match, but it was their target selection to take out the DPS really quickly. It's just one of those snap decisions that you have to make in a moment. If you decide 20 seconds into it, then you've probably lost the match. And we don't give these pilots a heck of a lot of time to make that decision. They're on the field for maybe a minute, so they have to discuss their entire strategy for the setup they've never flown before against a setup they've never seen before in just that short while. So it comes down to the captain and the leader of the team and the FC to decide what to do here. I'll be interested to see how it turns out. I have a feeling both their teams are going to go for Logi first. As Bay was mentioning, out these brick battleships is going to be a tall order. Maelstrom, one of the most sturdy tanks in the game in terms of raw boosting. Rogue, probably right next to it in terms of that, with that extra resist bonus. These are tough nuts to crack, and both are backed up by Shield Logi. Both are backed up by drones. The Ham Drake does a little bit more damage. Phalanx, I guess, is a little bit more versatile. Tony, why don't you break down the difference between the Phalanx and the Drake a bit?
So I think the Drake is a bit more sturdier, and it also does a bit more damage, although that damage I think is a lot less flexible than the Phalanx, because the Drake is locked into kinetic damage, and it's slower than the Phalanx, and the Phalanx, I believe, gets a utility high that I don't think the Drake does. I know it has one spare high slot, but I'm not sure. I'm not too sure on the fitting too much. I think basically it comes down to the fact that the Phalanx has a much easier time applying its damage to frigates and destroyers if it catches them. The Drake doesn't. Heavy assault missiles don't apply fully to frigates, especially to the Slasher, which is going to have an afterburner.
Sorry, but just to clarify, the Drake has a small energy newt, whereas the Phalanx has a medium NOS.
Yeah, another key thing I think is the fact that the Osprey only has an afterburner in this match, whereas the Scythe has an MWD. So when it comes down to whoever can catch the other team's Logi first, I think that the Scythe is going to be a lot more slippery. It might be a lot harder for Provi-Shotz to catch and shut down the Logi of the Phalanx side, as the Phalanx are going to have an easier time catching that Osprey with their slower battle cruiser and battleship support ships. Especially since the Slasher has an afterburner, as we mentioned. So the Slasher is very good at mitigating damage, but it's not going to be very good at like getting like a key tackle on a ship like the Punisher or the Tristan or another ship like that can get.
Yeah, that is very well said. The Slasher can probably hold down this Maelstrom, but the Maelstrom can project pretty decently far with its auto cannons. I mean, worst case, it swaps to barrage and it hits. It hits kind of okay at about 40 kilometers. Nothing right home about, but it can still deal some damage while tackled down. Enough to put some pressure on this Osprey. Phalanx, their team do have the Scythe, as Suetonia pointed out. The Scythe is much more maneuverable compared to the Osprey. We've seen Kaboom pilot that Scythe impeccably well, just to perfection. Baiting, knowing when to dart in and out, and even sort of having the sense of like the game sense to just run at a battleship, knowing that battleship had no means of tackling it when it got up close, and no means of tracking it. It was pretty crazy. I remember watching that match with Kaboom Yeah, he was just running zero transversal, basically, almost straight in a Abaddon. And we were like, oh my god, what is this guy doing? He's gone crazy. And then he just went right in on a super tight orbit, not just hitting orbit 500 or whatever. He just went right in on an Abaddon, spiraled in on him, and the Abaddon just then couldn't tank him at all. Spent the entire rest of the match trying to get hits, glancing every single time. So he is definitely a pilot to watch out for. Dead Duck on the other side on the Provi-Shotz team. He's always been in these kind of big core ships. He's been piloting really well, so he'll probably be in the Roke in this match. So it'll be interesting to see how he pilots. Those are two names you want to kind of look in at, because those ships will be very important, at least from where I'm sitting. And we do have both the teams on field.
Just a tiny
like...
clarification that I'm going to call now so we don't get all stressed about it later. If Provi win by precisely 10 points, I believe that the championship is tied. Which would be quite a crazy result to get us into after a whole round-robin tournament. But in that case, we would just match between the top two to decide it.
Oh man, that would be hope. That would be crazy. Okay, Provi-Shotz, you know what you have to do. You have to break our rule set. Go for it, man. I'm going to go ahead and send down to Tony and Rain in the commentary booth to introduce these teams and figure out who is going to be the winner.
Hello there, I'm Sutoni and I'm joined by Rain. I'm going to introduce the Phalanx team for you. They have Maelstrom, the Drake, the Scythe, the Tower, and the Merlin. Introduce the Provi-Shotz team for me, please, Rain.
Yeah, so Provi-Shotz brought the Rope, the Phalanx, the Osprey, the Thrasher, and the Slasher. And they have all warped in at 50 and then 30. Well, the Osprey warped in at 50, everyone else warped in at 30.
Yeah, it seems like the teams have picked pretty close beacons. Not the closest that they could be, but they are kind of close. They're on the same kind of angle, but they're at the Provi-Shotz team is under the plane, whereas Phalanx are above. I think it's going to be interesting to see who's Logi's going to get caught first, because the Provi-Shotz have the slower Slasher and they have the slower Osprey, which are going to be easier to tackle and harder to screen with the Slasher and tackle something. Let's see what happens. It's like the teams are moving now. It looks like Phalanx are kiting away from the Provi-Shotz team.
Yeah, both teams are actually moving away from each other, and it looks like, I believe the battleships are either staying still or kind of moving in. No, it looks like they're both attempting to kite. This Maelstrom isn't really moving at all, though. We see drones out, Logi drones out on each of their Logis.
Yeah, it looks kind of like the dance you see in the Alliance tournament between two rush teams, where they sort of just feel each other out first and sort of stay at range until they can see an opening and they just go in and go for it. It's interesting to see what's going to happen there, because these teams are a lot slower than a traditional rush team, though, and I think the advantage will go to Phalanx if the Provi-Shotz team just stay at range the entire time, because the Maelstrom can shoot and so can the Tower, while the Provi-Shotz team don't really have anything that does any damage past 20 kilometers.
Yeah, and as of right now, like, we saw drones going out, but there's no real DPS. So they both seem to be very uneasy towards each other, and I think it's because they know how much is at stake and they don't want to mess up by getting ahead of themselves and rushing in.
Yeah, there is several billions on the line in this match, because whoever loses this match will probably be in third place, whereas the person who wins this match has a very good shot at getting first place. So there's a big skin difference between these two teams. Still nothing really happening. We see the Thrasher of Sten Mattison's kind of going up and above. Looks like he's trying to loop around. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the Tower, not the Thrasher. My bad. Still no damage coming out. It's kind of interesting. I'd expect the Tower and the Maelstrom to be firing a few salvos into the other team to try and force them to do something.
Yeah, and the drones aren't dying either, so it's not like they're trying to shoot drones, which we've seen a lot of times, but that's usually when there's ECM drones out. But so far, nothing. This Tower is kind of getting a little close. I don't know if he's like trying to bait this Phalanx kind of moving towards him.
Maybe he's just trying to sort of go into range, maybe bait some drones to go on him so they can kill the drones.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Both teams very cautious. We've already had 2.5 minutes elapsed here and still nothing significant has been done.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tower got shot a little, and then they immediately repped him kaboom in that scythe. he's he's playing that dance again, kind of going in, and then probably going to turn around and go back out.
Yeah, it looks like he might be just like trying to duck in, shoot some drones, and duck back out again without getting caught. We do see that the attack bar on the Phalanx side does go up a little every time he does that, so he is shooting something. It's strange though, don't see any damage. Maybe he is shooting drones. We did see there's some medium shield bots actually on the Osprey preemptively, and it looks like a few of them died, so it looks like the tower's just plinking off a few rep bots before they go in.
There's one left out, and he's not taking any damage at the moment. I'm so confused. This tower is now going in with the Maelstrom. Sort of. It looks like the Mael's not even using a prop mod, just slow boating towards the enemy fleet.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to sit out front, maybe tackle something. Everything else is sort of in defensive positions behind him. The time is definitely against the Provi-Shotz side though, because they do need to score at least 11 points to win. So they don't really want to leave it until like 5 minutes remaining before they go in, and even if they do win the match, they don't kill 11 points worth of ships, and they won't win the tournament. They'll only come in second place or even third potentially.
Yeah, we do see there's some fire on this Phalanx. Not quite sure what's shooting it, but it's not doing any damage. But there's at least shots being fired, especially between the Rogue as well. I think is firing into the Phalanx team.
Yeah, we do see rep bots preemptively on the tower. I don't know if he's taking damage or not though, so putting them out there might actually make them a bit vulnerable. Hammerhead ones have been launched from the Maelstrom. Looks like they are going in. Looks like the Rogue is kind of trying to sneak around, although I don't think he'll be able to go through the Maelstrom. Looks like the Providence Thrasher as well is sort of trying to come in around the side. We do see tackle now from the Slasher onto the Maelstrom, so the Maelstrom is tackled. We also see the Grappler on the Drake, and not too much damage coming in yet. So the Rogue is taking damage.
Yep, so the Rogue's taking damage, and then these Hammerheads from the Phalanx team are actually dying as well. They're being shot, and now they're being recalled.
That Drake is still moving fast. It looks like he is grappled, but it looks like it's probably like 20 kilometers, like in deep fall off. Be interesting to see where that Drake is trying to go, because it looks like he's just burning away randomly.
Yeah, and the Rogue's taking damage, but he does have reps on him, whether that's bots or from the Osprey, but he's not too risky. He's not even in half shield.
Oh, Slasher is now webbed and grappled. We'll see how fast he goes down. He does have an afterburner, so he can mitigate a lot of DPS. But if he is grappled, he can probably get wrecked by the Drake and the Maelstrom here, especially the Tower and the Merlin if they come to help out. He's going slower than 200 meters per second right now, just hanging around that sort of range, so he might start taking a lot of damage pretty soon. He is getting reps now, but the Slasher doesn't have too much of a buffer compared to other frigates like the Merlin and the Punisher, so... web swap now to the Ferox. It looks like damage is getting split. The Slasher seems to be tanking right now. He is taking residue damage. I guess that's probably from the tower and maybe the odd drone or two. Ferox taking damage. It looks like the Provi-Shotz primary is on the Drake, getting reps. It'll be interesting to see if they can break the Drake. He is kind of hard tackled here. We're also seeing kind of like a mini fight off. The Thrasher is on top of the tower. If the Thrasher has caught the tower, if the tower goes down, this would be a big loss for the Phalanx team.
Yeah, the primary for Phalanx is actually on this Ferox, even though they are still shooting the Slasher. So they need to keep this Talwar up. It's not good to lose him. And
Yeah,
losing that. I was gonna say this. Scythe is doing drive-by reps, even though he's bleeding armor. They're at least keeping him up a little bit as the Scythe's headed for the Drake to keep the Drake alive, because he is tackled by being attacked by the Rogue and the Ferox.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Drake is getting reps right now either, so he might go down pretty soon. Looks like reps are back on now. With both the Tower and the Drake getting shot, it's really pressuring the Logi. Not just because you have to split reps between two targets, but you also have to manage your range appropriately too. That you could be like in deep fall off to one of the targets. And both
the Drake structure, the Drake and Tower and structure, and Tower is now down, and we only have 2.5 minutes left. So now they really have to scramble to start killing people. The Drake is also gone. Phalanx first to lose 2. And the Phalanx is just barely in armor, but he's catching reps.
Yeah, it looks like the Provi-Shotz did a very good job there, sort of hanging back. The Thrasher was able to just pounce on that tower, split depths between the Drake and the tower. Very good piloting from the Provi-Shotz team. They knew how to. The Thrasher and the Slasher were a bit weird picks. They're the only team who've ever picked them. It looks like it worked for them. That Thrasher actually does, a reasonable amount of DPS. It only does it at 2 kilometers, but it is a lot of DPS, especially if it catches like a tower out alone. It's like the Scythe is now scrammed and tackled.
Yep, so he's tackled by the Thrasher with the Phalanx and the Rogue burning at him, and he just popped. There's nothing he could really do. He only had a buffer, whereas the Osprey has a ASB to keep himself alive.
Well, it's definitely over for Phalanx now, but the key point here is they need to kill this Maelstrom in the next 1 minute and 38 seconds. If the Maelstrom lives, they'll only score 10 points in this match, and they will not win the championship. They will not be in first place. They need to kill this Maelstrom to get his 5 points.
Yeah, he's actually the Maelstrom's actually scrammed and muted by this by the Slasher. So I mean, they're burning at him pretty quickly, but I don't know if they can apply the DPS in time.
Yeah, they need to go onto the Maelstrom. I don't know why they're chasing the Merlin. This Merlin might actually cost them the championship. The Merlin's just burning away. The Thrasher and the Ferox are actually chasing the Merlin instead of just going onto this Maelstrom. If they just keep chasing this Merlin, don't go onto the Maelstrom quick, they're going to lose the championship.
Well, the Ferox has the Merlin, and it does look like the Slasher actually is tackling him.
Oh, the Merlin seems pretty far away. He's about 60 off. He's not tackled right now. He's still burning, emptying away. The Thrasher's still chasing him.
Yeah, but the Maelstrom has been... I mean, it's been cut, but they're still not shooting it. I don't know why. The Maelstrom's actually, like, beating the crap out of this Ferox, even though it's taking reps.
Yeah, I don't know what the Thrasher's doing. He needs to be on this Maelstrom. The Thrasher, you need to be on the Maelstrom. You can't chase the Merlin. If you kill the Merlin, it doesn't make a bit of difference, because if you point for the Merlin, you only have 10 points. You need to kill this Maelstrom to take first place.
They have 20 seconds. I don't think there's any way that they can actually beat the Maelstrom, even if he turned off all of his, tank.
Yeah, I don't know what the Thrasher is doing. It might have cost them the first place victory here.
Well, the Rogue's just not on top of the Maelstrom, but it's 5 seconds left. They're completely... It's over.
Yeah, so Provi-Shotz win the match, but only scoring 9 points.
So that's 9 times Provi-Shotz do win, and with that, we'll send it back to Elise.
Crossing zebras.
The new high-performance Rig 500 headset from Plantronics is designed to match the skills of an aspiring esport player with the gear they need to win. The new modular system gives you the power to adapt, upgrade, and personalize your headset for the task at hand. The Rig 500 series of gaming headsets are engineered to deliver the perfect combination of durable lightweight comfort in an immersive audio environment. 7.1 surround sound and 24-bit audio provide a stunning 360-degree sound field with directional audio. 40mm drivers with low-frequency resonators provide crisp highs and boosted bass. Clear voice noise-canceling technology provides clear communication to your teammates. From the headset company that equips the pros, the 500 series was crafted to meet the needs of esports and competitive players around the world. The new Rig 500 series of headsets from Plantronics. Respect the training. Reactions win.
The Slasher and Thrasher managed to do it. They managed to beat the Phalanx team with this gimmicky setup that only they can get to work. I cannot believe it. Provi-Shotz managed to score 9 points. 9 points in that match. And they ended up winning. So the standings as it is right now, until we have to do some behind the scenes math. Clever Girls, Charlatans, and Provi-Shotz all have 9 points. However, Clever Girls have a point differential of 13 points, giving them the first place victory. Provi-Shotz have the point differential of 12 points, making them second, and Charlatans had a point differential of just 5 points, putting them in the third position. And Phalanx, who had everything to go for, all they needed to do was win, are in the fourth position. My goodness, what a crazy, crazy last set of matches. We thought Meme Team could do it. We thought Clever Girls, all they needed to do was win.
Sorry, Elise, we've misled you.
Oh no! Oh no! This has
We
been a
completely
disaster.
misled you. Provi-Shotz did not lose a ship in that match. That means they got a dominating win, which gives them an extra league point, giving them 10 league points in total, making them the winner.
Don't they need to win 15-0?
They didn't kill the last.
Oh,
beat,
of course
though.
they didn't. Oh no, who's poking me? Someone's poking me and confusing me. I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
It's okay.
It's been a long day. I'm just totally like making all these pilots go, what the fuck, Bay? Why don't you understand your own tournament?
Hey, get your shit together, guy.
Rain, no blame.
So sorry.
So,
yeah, Elise was right. Congratulations, Clever Girls, leading by 1 points difference. Did not see that coming.
So over 5 matches played, with 15 matches per point, that's 75 possible points. It came down to 1 point, the 1 frigate kill through any of the previous few weeks, and that would have given Provi-Shotz the victory. But nope, Clever Girls hold on to their title just barely. I don't know how they did it, but we'll be seeing them next year in the major leagues, or rather next season in the major leagues. Congrats to Clever Girls. They did it once again in crazy fashion. Give it up to them. They win 30 of these IGC ship skins, and they get promoted to the major leagues for next season. Provi-Shotz, admirable performance. They started today in, I believe, 4th or 5th position. They started pretty low, and they jumped all the way up with their crazy Thrasher Slasher setup. They finished second, winning 25 skins. Good job for them. We will also see them be invited to the major leagues next year. Charlatans finish in 3rd, and Phalanx finish in 4th, with Meme Team and Burnt Out being relegated out of the competition. That is absolutely insanity right here. I'm glad you guys are here to watch it. That was absolutely fantastic. And that is not all for this weekend. Tomorrow, the finals for the major leagues, and it is just as crazy to see who is going to finish first. So make sure to tune into the show tomorrow at 19:45 Eve time. We will also be giving away a fancy Plantronics headset courtesy of Plantronics, and another IGC APOC skin, which we gave away earlier today, both of those, and we'll be giving away them tomorrow again. So be sure to tune in. Teams are competing for almost 800 billion ISK tomorrow. So it is a huge prize pool for these guys. And I can't wait to see how it turns out. The entire staff and I will be joining you here tomorrow and at 19:45. So be sure to tune in. With that crazy day, we're going to have to end it. I just want to give a special shout out to all of the stats guys here. Sutoni and Bay, fantastic analysts. They're the best. Sutoni's ability to predict what teams are going to bring is absolutely staggering. I don't know how he does it. Bay can give some great clarity onto what these teams are thinking and how the bans are going forward. And in terms of commentators, you had Rain Chocolate and Madden bringing you all the action here today. Next week, there's nothing next week. The finals are this weekend. Tomorrow we will be joined by CCB Fozzie and CCB Larrikin will join us in the commentary booth and the analyst desk to see what sort of insights they will have with this tool. We showed it to them earlier this week, and they were completely surprised by that. Also want to give a big shout out to our stats goddess, Elinari, who's been keeping the league standings page going crazy and keeping it all updated with fancy stats after each match. Bio and Equalizer, who have been our producers during these minor league series. Great work. Everything that you see on screen is courtesy of them. Another big shout out to Hendrik Kaladar, who made all the video stuff for us. When you see the cool art aspects and art stuff and videos, that's all Hendrik Kaladar. And then another shout out to Darius Johnson, the coolest and most OG ref there is. You won't find another more badass ref out there. He is making sure these teams stay on the straight and narrow. And what would be a shout out without giving props to Big Daddy Nash Cadaver, who made this whole thing possible. Bay and Nash kind of had this idea, turn it into what you guys are witnessing now. So I'm really, really thankful for that. It's just crazy to see what these guys came up to, and especially the teams. Yeah. And another shout out to CCP and Plantronics for supporting us, both in the server and with stuff to give away to you guys. That is the absolute best. Like the fact that CCP made just unique ship skins just for our tournament is just so great. And I just want to give a shout out to the teams who competed as well. Clever Girls, congrats again. You know, you guys did it. Provi-Shotz, you made this thing so exciting to watch. Then we've got Charlatans, Phalanx, and you guys, week to week, really exciting stuff. And Meme Team and Burnt Out, although you will be relegated, you brought us some really fun matches. Meme Team, I thought you could do it, and Burnt Out, you kind of had a great typo, Burnt Out, which was fun. And you also gave us a fantastic ending to watch as just Clever Girls just dwindle in the spotlight a little bit to make sure that we just have to wait for the final match to see how this whole thing works out. For Event T, I'm Elise Randolph, signing off for now. We will see you guys 1945 tomorrow for the major leagues with hundreds of billions of ISK at stake. And take care, guys. See you tomorrow.